2 full-blood siblings, and I have 4 half-blood siblings. When I was 5, we were all separated. And at that moment, my whole life changed. I remember clinging onto my mom, and there was a change in her. I remember her keeping me home from school. She said, well, you're gonna go to the doctors because you're sick. But I wasn't sick. So we get in the doctors, nothing's wrong. We went home and she told me to go in the house, and I looked at her and asked her where she was going, and she said, I'm going to get your medicine. But I remembered that there was no medicine. I wasn't sick. She was gone for about 3 days. And I just remember thinking she was dead. Nobody was there to care after us. I just remember that fear. And from that moment on, my mom was never the same. I would see her choking my siblings, and once she almost set fire to my brother's bed while he was sleeping in it. And I remember once sleeping under the living room table with a bat, and I was gonna attack my mom with it if she were to come and hurt me. And I just remember the emptiness and the darkness. And I remember just wanting my mom, but she was never there, and she was never the same. My father abused alcohol. So there was no stability there. He was an angry man. We knew not to ask questions. We knew not to disturb him. I woke up from 8 in the morning. I was out and about until 8 at night with no rules, no regulation, no oversight. So I was riding my bike near the alley, and this man was there, and he was telling me to come there to see him. And I remember running into my backyard and running into my house and looking out of the kitchen window, and he was there at the fence of my home staring in. And I remember at that moment having complete fear because no one was there. And I just know, looking back at that now, that was God's protection, because nothing was stopping him from coming in the house and getting me. I remember at that moment having my safety taken away. I remember having no safety net, having no one to turn to, no one to run to, thinking what if I was really taken? Would you care? I did everything I could to search for the love. And I searched everywhere for acceptance, but I couldn't find it. So I remember sitting alone in my room, and I had a bottle of sleeping pills. And I remember finishing that whole bottle of pills, and they were in me. So I was just waiting. Thinking maybe my heart was gonna stop, or I had no idea. I was just waiting. I was accepting death. Next thing I know, the ambulance are there. And I remember lying there in the hospital bed, talking to God, almost angry at him. Why am I still here? And I remember my husband's grandmother, Connie. At the time, he was my boyfriend. I remember her coming to me and saying, would you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior? And she explained to me that he would love me unconditionally, no matter what I did, no matter where I was, no matter how I grew up, that he would love me, that he would accept me, that I didn't have to earn it, that I didn't have to do anything for it, that his love was free. And there was no reason for me not to accept him. I wasn't losing anything. So I said, sure, I'll accept him. And I sat there and I asked Jesus into my heart when I was 15 years old. He had loved me when I couldn't love myself. He was my daddy. He was my mom. He showed me that he could be everything and everyone that I never had. I look back now and I can see, even though I didn't know God, even though I didn't know the Lord and I didn't hear of him, I could see his hand covering and protecting me. And that's how I came out of the darkness into the light.